For over 4,500 years, it has stood there defiant. A question that challenges history: who built Stonehenge and why? For centuries, scholars have proposed countless theories. Was it the Druids, the Romans, or some forgotten civilization? Everything we once believed about this megalithic monument is about to be overturned. Modern science has found evidence that changes everything.
For us, Stonehenge isn't just stone. It's a closed history book, and we just found the key.
The mystery begins with the stones themselves. Hundreds of colossal bluestone and sarsen blocks. The problem is, they didn't originate here. The bluestones, weighing 2 to 5 tons. They were supposedly transported all the way from Preseli Hills, Wales, 150 miles away. The sarsen stones, weighing up to 50 tons. Their source is closer, but moving them was still an unbelievable feat for that era. For years, we focused only on who and how. But the latest research asks, what was this landscape before it was Stonehenge?
We utilized geophysics technology to peer through the soil. What we found was not a single monument, but a colossal ritual landscape.
The first shocking discovery, Durrington Walls, a massive settlement just 2 miles from Stonehenge. This is where Stonehenge's builders lived. Evidence of pig bones shows they celebrated monumental feasts during the winter solstice. So, Stonehenge for the dead, winter solstice, Durrington Walls for the living, summer solstice. A perfect astronomical pair. Or is it?
The feast theory is popular, but it relies on scattered evidence. To truly understand, we needed to find the quarry where the stones were sourced.
This is where the conflict truly begins. The origin of the bluestones. A 150-mile journey, moving stones across rivers, mountains, and even by sea. Did Neolithic people really manage this, or did nature lend a hand?
The complexity of the logistical challenge immediately makes the human transport theory highly questionable.
An early theory suggested Ice Age glaciers dragged the smaller bluestones closer to Salisbury Plain, minimizing the human effort. But modern science has delivered the definitive answer using geochemical analysis. We measure the chemical signature of the rock itself.
The XRF data is conclusive. The geochemical fingerprint of the stones is an undeniable match.
The Smoking Gun Quarry, a specific outcrop in the Preseli Hills, Pembrokeshire, Wales. The chemical signature of the Stonehenge bluestone is perfectly matched with the rock from that Welsh quarry. The sarsen stone mystery presented a new challenge. Were they moved from nearby, or were they sourced from farther afield?
Even sourcing the sarsen stones, although closer, demanded unparalleled coordination and engineering for a prehistoric society.
The new LiDAR data reveals a massive, previously unknown network of surrounding pits and ditches. Stonehenge is just the center of a huge complex. Focusing on the Aubrey holes, archaeologists realized they marked the location of the monument's first temporary stone circle.
These antler picks were the only tools they had to dig the ditches and move the earth in the earliest phases of the construction.
This is a reconstruction of the earliest phase, around 3000 BC, a simple circular earth enclosure defined by the Aubrey holes. The latest DNA evidence shows a strong genetic link between the builders and early farmers from continental Europe, tracing back to Anatolia.
The DNA confirms a cultural bridge, an influx of new ideas and new people linking Britain to the broader European Neolithic world.
Imagine small groups of ancient farmers arriving by boat to the British Isles, bringing their agricultural knowledge and their monument-building culture. When the first bluestones arrived at Salisbury Plain, it was an event of immense excitement and spiritual reverence for the community. REHOOK. The biggest question remains, why endure an impossible 150-mile trek for those bluestones? The answer lies in the spiritual and healing power attributed to the Welsh stones. The bluestone source in Preseli is geologically aligned with a known ancient healing spring, suggesting a link between the rock and healing rites.
It's highly probable that Stonehenge served as a kind of Neolithic Lourdes, a destination for pilgrimage and healing.
We can now reconstruct the scene. Injured or sick Neolithic people journeying to Stonehenge, hoping for the therapeutic power of the bluestones. Another LiDAR revelation, the northeastern entrance pit, a newly identified ritual gateway that changes how we think they access the site.
Every time we scan the area, we find new features that confirm that the usage of the site was far more complex than we ever imagined.
The sheer precision of the dressing techniques, hammering and smoothing the sarsen stones, shows surprisingly advanced craftsmanship. What centuries of erosion hid were subtle rock carvings, ancient graffiti of axes and daggers, revealed only by high-resolution scans.
The level of detail and artistic skill found on these minute carvings is absolutely astonishing for the period.
This stunning CGI reconstruction shows Stonehenge at its zenith, around 2000 BC, before time and decay took their toll. Research has also confirmed the existence of a massive, earlier timber circle at Durrington Walls, the wooden equivalent of Stonehenge.
We are seeing a powerful cultural transition, a move from building with wood for the living to building with permanent stone for the ancestors.
Winter solstice at Stonehenge was a more somber affair, likely focused on funerary rites and connecting with the ancestors. Summer solstice at Durrington Walls meant feasting, celebration, and rituals dedicated to life and fertility. Winter solstice at Stonehenge was a more somber affair, likely focused on funerary rites and connecting with the ancestors.
The two sites represent a complementary ritual cycle, life and death, summer and winter. The builders understood duality perfectly.
This animation shows the final, largest phase of construction, the arrival and painstaking erection of the massive sarsen stones. They used sophisticated mortise and tenon joints, the carpentry of stone, to lock the horizontal lintels onto the vertical uprights. Stonehenge is a testament to engineering genius and an enduring mystery. We turn to the most compelling evidence. Isotopic analysis of the cremated human remains found at Stonehenge. Strontium isotope ratios, measured from teeth and bones, act like a geological passport, revealing where a person spent their childhood.
The isotope analysis confirmed that many of those buried here were not local. Their origin points were scattered, some from as far as Western Wales.
The mapping is incredible. The Stonehenge elite were travelers, people from Wales, Scotland, and even continental Europe converging here. Reconstruction of a ceremonial burial. The site was a central necropolis, reserved for the most important people of the era.
The continuous presence of the dead suggests the site's primary role was ancestral memory and ritual, not solely an observatory.
The discovery of the Amesbury Archer, the richest burial found near Stonehenge, was another game-changer. The Archer's strontium signature confirmed his origin. He came from the Alps, bringing new copper-working technology to Britain.
He represents a clear example of how immigration fueled the construction, funding the later phases with new metallurgical wealth.
REHOOK 2. If this was a sacred burial ground, why did construction abruptly stop around 1500 BC? The answer lies in a cultural shift, the dawn of the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age brought metalworking and a focus on individual wealth and status, replacing the collective spirit of the Neolithic builders.
The Beaker people shifted ritual focus from communal stone circles to individual impressive tombs known as barrows. The Beaker people shifted ritual focus from communal stone circles to individual impressive tombs known as barrows.
The funeral rites were smaller, more personalized, reflecting a focus on individual lineage rather than community ancestry.
Simply put, The community's energy, labor, and resources were diverted away from the grand collective project of Stonehenge.
New LiDAR data revealed a massive kilometers-long avenue of pits leading away from Stonehenge, indicating a shift in ritual direction. The petroglyphs, the carved daggers and axes, are significant. They speak to a new culture fascinated by status and weaponry.
The prevalence of weapon carvings indicates a transition to a more militarized or power-focused society, a clear break from the past.
One theory suggests Stonehenge was a neutral ground for political unification, where different warring tribes could meet peacefully. Ultimately, the meticulous solar and lunar alignment confirms a deep religious focus on the cosmos. It was a sophisticated calendar.
The precision needed for these astronomical calculations is astounding. They mastered geometry and observation without written records.
The use of the river Avon as a key ritual waterway further connects the sites, turning the landscape into a ceremonial circuit. Then came the Superhenge, a massive ring of pits near Durrington Walls that spans over a mile, eclipsing the size of Stonehenge itself.
This site, though subterranean and invisible, is monumental in scale. It fundamentally changes our understanding of the entire complex.
These pits might have marked a vast territorial boundary or served as markers for celestial navigation across the wider plain. New geological analysis provided precise dating, confirming the massive sarsen stones arrived around 2500 BC.
The evidence now allows us to build a precise, confirmed timeline for Stonehenge's major construction phases.
The engineering required ramps, levers, and hundreds of workers to erect those 50-ton sarsen stones. Another surprising discovery involves acoustics. The stones ring when struck, leading to the theory that the monument had a sonic purpose.
We believe the builders chose the stones not just for their appearance, but for their unique acoustic properties. They were singing rocks.
Imagine the rituals, a mesmerizing rhythmic sound experience created within the central horseshoe of stones. Even the smaller bluestones show advanced craftsmanship, using ball and socket joints for stability.
The builders possessed a profound, intuitive grasp of geology, physics, and complex structural engineering.
The latest holistic theory, Stonehenge was a monument of ancient unity, fusing stone from Wales with local sarsen rock. It was a monumental declaration of collective identity, a place where people from various regions gathered for a singular, unifying event.
This emphasis on unity and collective effort is the true spirit of the Neolithic period, tragically lost in the Bronze Age.
The eventual decline of use around 1500 BC remains a poignant moment, the mystery of its slow abandonment. As new populations arrived and cultural dominance shifted, the old ways centered on Stonehenge faded away.
The focus moved from grand cosmological monuments to portable wealth and weaponry, marking the end of the Stonehenge era.
The stones began to fall over time, victims of neglect, weather, and the sheer shift in social priorities. By the Iron Age, Stonehenge was a relic, largely ignored by those who camped nearby, a curiosity of a long-forgotten age.
In later eras, Roman and medieval, it became an object of myth and fascination, prompting numerous incorrect theories.
Fast forward to the 20th century, and the first major attempts at restoration and stabilization began. These early efforts were often controversial, involving the use of concrete and cranes to straighten and reposition the stones.
The early restoration was necessary for preservation, but we must acknowledge its flaws and the challenges of correcting history.
Resolution. The four keys of modern science, LiDAR, geochemistry, isotope analysis, and DNA, now work together to unlock the past. The LiDAR mapping now gives us a total digital picture of the entire archaeological complex, revealing its true, massive scale.
For us, there is a profound sense of satisfaction knowing that technology has finally allowed us to answer the core questions of this monument.
Our final reconstruction shows the integrated, full, vibrant ritual use of the entire landscape, working as one cohesive whole. The sun rises exactly over the heel stone. The astronomical purpose is undeniably real.
The alignment of the heel stone proves the builders possessed a deep, sophisticated knowledge of celestial mechanics and cosmology.
The greatest discovery is that Stonehenge was not static. It changed functions over 1,500 years, adapting to every Neolithic and Bronze Age belief. The evidence is clear. The builders were not primitives, but masterful engineers, astronomers, and organizers.
Their legacy is not just the stone circle, but their dedication to monumentality and their deep connection to the cosmos.
The monument is a visible record of enormous social effort, demonstrating an unparalleled level of logistical organization. The enduring presence of the Bluestones reminds us that the impossible journey was a statement of spiritual faith and political reverence.
When we stand here, we are not just analyzing rock. We are asking, what motivated these ancient people to move mountains?
LiDAR pits, DNA analysis, isotope data, Sarsen origins, the rush of new discoveries continues to define the site. The Stonehenge we know today has shifted from a mysterious ruin to a fully understood yet still awe-inspiring ritual landscape.
Our understanding is never complete. New technology will continue to reveal more secrets buried beneath this ancient soil.
The largest trilithons stand as permanent sentinels, silent witnesses to 4,500 years of history and change. The ultimate realization, the true monument, is the vast landscape encompassing the Superhenge and all the barrows. Through the Iron Age and the Roman occupation, the monument stood firm, a quiet, forgotten backdrop to history.
Our current work is laying the foundation for future LiDAR and DNA projects, ensuring the search for answers never ends.
The sheer scale of the achievement connects us, modern visitors, to the determination of our ancient ancestors. Conservation efforts today ensure that modern science protects this ancient marvel for the next generation of researchers. The final sweeping view of the site integrates the past, the stones, with the present, the modern visitors and researchers. Final thought. The stones hold no secrets, only questions waiting for the next generation of archaeologists to ask.